Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, everybody, and today we're going to discuss the ongoing downtime with Top Thrill 2. But first, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We got you covered here at Ghoster Coasters for all the Top Thrill updates and so many more spooky shenanigans. A huge shout out goes out to all of our channel members and coaster ghosts and producers of the channel. The Ghoster Coasters community is great because of all of you wonderful friends out there. Now let's get into this downtime and, well, cleaning of the station and daytime test, I guess?
Top Thrill 2 has been closed since May 11th. Having got official word on May 12th from Cedar Point and a subsequent update stating that the downtime would continue on June 4th. It's almost the end of June now, so we're closing in on 2 months of downtime for the new for 2024 coaster at Cedar Point. Having marketed season passes and the all-season fast lane as a way to ride it as many times as you want, some guests are starting to lose patience, and we understand that. But the park definitely doesn't want this more. They are likely pushing very hard to fix this issue. So what is the issue anyways?
Cedar Point put out a statement stating that Zamperla will be making modifications to the trains, and a third-party inspector would be on site to ensure the results of whatever the modifications were. And we're all pretty certain that part of the issues were the wheel assemblies. And when speaking to Ryan, the ride mechanic, we came to an informed conclusion that it probably wasn't the transfer to the upstop wheels, and that the beefed up wheel assemblies were likely for other reasons, and we don't know for certain because we don't have the actual testing data.
What's becoming interesting with this whole process is, we see the new wheel assemblies on the Silver Train. So what the heck is going on? A few options we wanted to go over in addition to the seats being moved to the infield storage shop and what work that pertains to. And why, of course. We've seen rows from 5, 7, and 9 missing among other rows too. One thing for certain though is, we haven't seen the Blue Train testing for the entirety of this time. Some users have said that the tests done on the Silver Train were simply to test the new components and see if they were indeed a solution or fix, and that the ride is getting closer to open is not true yet. They have testing to do and figuring out any other issues they may be having.
The one big takeaway from the trains having issues is, while they are super easy to work on from what we've been told, being able to take them apart and easily work on them is great and all, but it seems as though the trains are having deeper underlying issues. The wheel carriers we've all kind of talked about at this point, but is there something else going on? We don't really know and we can't really speculate, so just take this with a grain of salt, but it's starting to get a bit odd with the downtime. Lack of movement near the Blue Train at all, testing seemingly slowing down, and a lot less work during the day being seen except for the test runs the other day. Zamperla marketed these trains as the best roller coaster train in the world and hyped up its capabilities of speeds in excess of what Top Thrill 2 reaches. Without real world data, those claims seem to have been a bit, overzealous, as they didn't last more than a week without having problems. But the golden lining here is, if they fix these trains, many park maintenance workers have said that these trains are the easiest to work on in the park.
So where does that leave us now? With little to no updates in almost 3 weeks, with very little happening on the ground, it's fair for some guests to start questioning things like their season passes and fast lanes that were advertised as ways to ride Top Thrill 2 more this summer. And look guys, we don't think Top Thrill 2 is make or break. It's just something a lot of guests have looked forward to for a while, so we get it. But Blue Streak and Magnum and Millie and Steve are still there waiting for you. Top tier park with a ton of top tier rides.
Some park goers did notice Top Thrill 2 running a test during the daytime during the week of May 16th through May 23rd, and also saw some crew members appearing to clean some of the station walls and whatnot, which drove anticipation wild again, as many were wondering if this means the ride is closer to reopening. Good signs, bad signs, every discussion possible was being had. With no real word from the park, we truly can't speculate much on the ride's status or when it may open at this point.
Some people believe the ride won't open this summer at all, and we tend to think it will, or Cedar Point and Tony Clark will put out a statement here in the coming weeks letting everyone know that it won't open this season. But guys, if the ride was not going to open for the season at this point, we would know more than likely now. The park wouldn't let us sit for weeks with tests and American Testing Services vans on site every so often and not tell us it would be down for the season. They would want to get ahead of that as soon as possible.
Which, hey, we know, this may leave us in a boat of our own here at Ghoster Coasters. We still think this ride will reopen this summer. Albeit, we are nervous with the amount of time it's taking, and, that's fair. But until the park and Tony Clark officially announce it in a press statement, a post, or any reputable way they post information, then we'll assume it's going to open this season. There is no way in our mind they would not get ahead of that information as soon as possible, no matter what. Which leads us to believe there's still a hopeful opening timeline between Zamperla, Cedar Point, and the third-party team. But with time marching on, the when is becoming more and more unclear. Some users have said that each train may only need 30 test runs or so to get the data for the new parts, and since the ride didn't fail, they may not have to recertify under the same protocols. We have been told anywhere from 500 to 1,000 consecutive test runs needed to certify a ride, which, again, we asked a friend for some clarification. A huge shout out goes out to Ryan, the ride mechanic. Everyone, go subscribe to him right now. Very detailed analysis and breakdowns of all things amusement parks. Such a good dude, and a must subscribe if you love roller coasters. But much like us, Ryan said engineers may see these modifications as something different than what they signed off on, meaning they likely would have to recertify the ride then, putting us closer to that 500 to 1,000 test run area, not the 30 or so runs per train others were saying. And when you think about that, it just sounds crazy anyways. No way Cedar Point lets Top Thrill 2 sit for nearly 2 months, does 30 tests per train and says, we're all clear. That didn't make much sense to us from the start anyways. That low of a number just didn't make sense in terms of chancing reopening without having way more data available. But we're not engineers and we don't know the nitty gritty behind the details behind these manufacturing processes, so again, we're just kinda out here spitballing.
If anything happens over the next few days or weeks, everyone, you know where to go and what to do. Hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss any official updates from the park, along with any updates we see on site as well. A huge shout out goes out to all of our channel members and Coaster Ghosting community. For real, everyone. All of this because of you, and we couldn't be more thrilled to be along for the ride with all of you.
Leave a comment down below and let us know how you're feeling, when you guys think Top Thrill 2 reopens, and what the heck is happening with these trains. A lot of anticipation behind the reopening of Top Thrill 2, and for now, we're continuing to wait like eager riders ready to race for the sky again. Come on, Zamperla, you got this. Cedar Point, we know you got this. And everyone, remain calm. The race for the sky will be on again soon. Till then, maybe check out our documentary if you haven't already.
As always, thank you for being a part of our spooky community and for Coaster Ghosting with Ghoster Coasters
Have a Six Flags day, everybody.
at America's Rock and Roller Coast.